Okay, can you guys see? So this is a new piece I'm working on. I'm still trying to refine some of the details, but it's going to be done pretty soon. Um, like I said, I've been working on a lot of these paintings. They're just really big. I haven't really painted this much stuff in detail like this. I'm trying to get more details and get more shapes in here. So you can see, this is what we have. So like I said, I'm just working on the details now, but this will be on YouTube pretty soon, and then I'll be having this one for sale pretty soon. So I hope to see you guys at these paintings on my YouTube channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Barbados. So we got this one sketched out on the canvas. This canvas is pretty big. I believe these were the 16 or 18 by 20s. I will look later and see what size they are. But we have a bunch of these canvases, and I wanted to do this crazy concept I had where I wanted to have this figure reaching towards the sky, and I wanted to have like, I don't know. I've been watching lot of Eldritch horror on YouTube and reading a lot of that stuff. So I wanted to have like a being in the sky, almost like the entity, and I wanted them just raising their hands to the entity, not necessarily in a symbolic way of that, but just more so just spiritually like reaching toward the sky. And then I had some other ideas where I wanted to do like some really like tall grass and some really crazy like funky like background ideas. So that's pretty much what this one came up to. I don't even have a name for this one yet. I was really excited with the way this one came out. I really love this hit. Like the way that I did the shading on this was crazy. So we're doing this, what you've seen with the Liquitex that we have, the basic acrylics. And I started this one off by I figured I would try this one like I used to do, where I would cover the completely background. But I figured instead of actually covering the background in a certain color, because I wasn't sure exactly what colors I wanted to do the background right away, I figured it would be easier for me to go in and start off with the figures each at a time, since everything was sketched, and then go from there. So what I did with this one is I got a lot of my purples, the violets, the lilacs, the lavenders, and then I blended those together with some of the reds for some of this warm color. And then I put those together, and I wanted to start off with more of the darker tones on this one, and then bring in the lighter tones, and then work that up to really try to build that up, because like I said, I've been telling you guys I really wanted to bring out my graphic style to the acrylics, but I think I finally figured it out. Since these ones are pretty much stickers and they dry just like that, I can pretty much do the same shapes that I would do with the acrylics, or excuse me, that I would do in Procreate and on Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. I can just do that essentially here. So now that I've pretty much figured that out, and just told myself, you know, don't really limit yourself, I think this one turned out pretty well. I really love doing graphic shapes and doing, you know, instead of blending everything together, like there's parts of this that are pretty blended, as you see. I'm trying to blend the lips out, but then there's really, I really love like a bold highlight. So I thought those highlights went crazy with this one. And then for the eyes, I wanted to do something that I thought would be super dope. I wanted to do like monarch eyes instead of just having regular eyes. I was looking at some of my old artworks in my sketchbooks, and I would do crazy things with different eyes. So that's what my idea was with that one. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Barbados Black. Big shout out to you guys for watching. We are about to finish this painting up right here. We got a little bit of the progress started already, but we're about to get back into it, and then from there we will go, and I will show you guys where we're going. So I hope you're ready to see. Let's get into it. So working on these butterfly eyes, I really wanted to go with, like I said, a monarch color. So I went with a pretty much I would say like a orangey orange, and then I put in a lot of red orange with that. I didn't want to start off with like a pretty yellowy orange. I thought it would be smarter to give it a brighter, darker, deeper orange, and then go in with a yellow, as you saw there, with some highlights. I'll eventually go in with some white on there and try to blend those colors in a bit more, but I wanted to have, like I said, some funky colors. I wanted it to kind of still be very vibrant and very alive, rather than toned down and a bit more muted. I like the way that nature looks, and the way that things look in nature. They tend to be bright. Bright colors tend to mean venomous, so I wanted to play into that, and that was kind of my idea with this mushroom that I was creating, playing into the venomous idea. I wanted everything to have more of a dark undertone, because like I said, typically bright colors to us represent positive things, but in nature, bright colors mean poisonous, it means venomous, it means keep away. So I kind of wanted this painting to have a bit of a melancholia to it, but just a little bit of an undertone. But I really loved doing this mushroom. Like, that's crazy the way that that looks. I love the way that those colors came out. I used a lot of dark browns, and I had a really bright, what is this color called? I don't have it right here actually, because I'm using it right now. And Naples yellow. I used Naples yellow mixed in with a lot of yellow, and then some of that yellow ochre for that color, and then as well as some burnt cyan and burnt sienna, excuse me, some raw cyan and burnt sienna. So it was crazy for that. I really loved that, and now you'll see me working on the planet as well. And I did that with just some turquoise and some blue, some cerulean, and then I went in with some pink. It looks lighter than what it is, but I'll go in with some darker pink, and then I blend those in together. I like to do a wet on wet to get that type of blend. What I find works best actually for blending. Don't wait till it gets dry. If I want to have my graphic look, as you see I did with the eyes, I'll do that and I'll let it dry, or I'll dry it myself. But if I want to go for a blended look, then I'll do a wet on wet. And so my idea for the grass was to do, like, initially I was going to do bluegrass and do a pink background. I thought that would be something that would be like really high contrast and really crazy. I have a painting where I have elements of pink for the background, and then the actual background itself is water, so it's a lot of blues and greens. So I wanted to flip it for this one and do that, but I ended up I did that, but I didn't. I kind of mixed it up with this one, but I really thought doing this grass this way was crazy. I love the way the blending and the shading came out with this, working with these colors. I wanted to try to force myself to use colors I hadn't used from the set yet, and colors I typically don't use. I like to use really bright colors, and not that these colors I don't feel like are bright. Like I said, these are a Liquitex set, and I haven't had a chance to use them all yet. So with this one, I figured this would be a chance to use more of the colors and go crazy. With the next few paintings I'm doing, I want to experiment with more colors. But that was my idea pretty much with this one. I wanted to use some of that, and then I used a lot of the violet here. I wanted to create some of those atmospheric mountains, so I wanted to use the purple, and then I figured I would use some of the pinks for highlights, and then I'd go over this pretty much later on with some of the grays and darker colors and blues, as you see now, for the shading. When it dries down and cools down, it looks really crazy. There was this painting I had seen, and I believe it was a Looney Tunes painting, where they had used a lot of crazy bright colors. I believe like the mountains were like yellow, but the shading was green, and then there was a blue mountain, but the shading was like pink. So I kind of wanted to reference that, and I thought that idea of doing that was something super dope, because I typically use just darker versions of the color, and less saturations, and sometimes I'll add a blue or something that's trying to shift the color. But I thought doing a completely different color would be something that would be dope, and something that would add something to this one. So I really liked how these mountains came out. I'm going to experiment probably more with mountains in the future. That's what I see myself doing primarily. Right now, we're starting to work on the figure. I wanted to go with a figure that I thought was new, just because I felt like nature and the idea of something that being real and true to its essence. I felt like clothes actually typically kind of indicate some sort of knowledge, some sort of something you want to hide, but I wanted this to feel free. I wanted this to feel raw, so I felt like giving them the idea of no clothes and giving someone just free in nature. I really felt like that symbolized what I wanted this painting to represent, and that reinforced it more than I felt like having them in clothes would for this particular painting. If you look at the other painting I did where I had the TV head, it was a cyberspace painting I did. It's also on the page, it's up there. I'll link it in the bio so you can see it. But if you've seen that one, she was sitting in the grass in that one. And I believe that painting, actually, I think the grass is purple, and I believe the background is pink, so fairly similar to this one. With that, she was nude as well. So I like to do a few new figures from time to time. I think that really shows you nature, and it shows vulnerability, it shows emotion. I think that naked bodies typically convey vulnerability a bit more, and I think that's an easy way to get it across rather than just have someone crying. I think that's a very easy way to kind of get someone to understand the idea. So fun fact, I ended up showing this one to some of the people on Facebook and letting them see this one before it was finished, and they told me they wanted me to add more like heaven and hell elements to this one. So right now I'm actually going back in. I'll do a separate video for that one later, where I'm going back in and I'm adding some extra details. I'm going up into the sky, I'm adding some more heaven elements, and then I'm going to go below. I'm going to add some skulls, I'm going to add some bones, I'm going to add some, I don't know if I want to go with fire or not, but we'll see in a second. But that pretty much wraps up this painting, so thank you guys for watching, and get ready for the follow-up video. See you guys.